the primary barrier I see in scrubber investments is the concern that some of the ship owners have regarding future regulations and also the differential price between low sulfur and high sulfur. It's difficult to predict, obviously, but at some point a decision has to be made, and if there is nothing in a formal documents that will indicate otherwise, the best suggestion I can make at this stage is put some of those concerns aside, because the scrubber investment is the best investment for the ship right now. And if things change in 10 years, there can be adjustments made to reflect the change, rather than not do anything at all and then suffer from the higher fuel costs. The impact on the market in 2020 is going to be significant. We have there will be a large group of companies that will have scrubbers, some will not, and the issue is going to be the competition between the ones that have scrubbers and the ones that do not. So the ones without the scrubbers, I believe, are going to suffer from significant increase in costs due to fuel use, and that will make them less competitive. And I think that in the end is going to change the picture of the whole market for the shipping. So we're going to see some companies that will, because of the increase in cost, will not be able to afford new investments, and others that have been able to predict this and put scrubbers on, which will have significant benefit from the lower fuel costs. Which will be, I believe, will be becoming a larger player because now they have money to invest. What we're looking at for this year alone, we're seeing a market of scrubbers somewhere in the 1,000 range. By 2020, there could probably be about 3,000 to 4,000 scrubbers installed if they continue at the pace that we're seeing this year. That will be the pace which I think will continue until 2025, which will change the whole schematic of the shipping industry, in that with so many companies using scrubbers will force the other companies to also use scrubbers because the competition. The difference between what we're seeing now and what we're going to see in 2025 in terms of technology is going to be minimal. The technology of scrubbing systems is already a technology that's 40, 50 years old. So the improvements have been made by many years ago. What we'll see, though, is many more companies selling scrubbers in this industry. So it's not going to be a technology change that we're going to see in 5 or 10 years, but it's going to be a competition change in that there'll be many more companies that will be selling into the marine industry. The industry at this stage has no choice but to comply. Some will comply with fuel switching, some will comply with scrubbers, others may comply with some other green technology. But there is no option in 2020. And I think the industry wants to comply in that since there is a regulation, they don't want to take a chance of being the only ones left who are not complying. The penalties are too great. So in terms of that, it's going to happen. 2020 is here. It will not change, and companies will comply for that. For operators who haven't decided yet, my message is scrubbers work. They've been used for many years. We put them on ships now for many years also. There are probably in the neighborhood of about 400 operating scrubbers already in the market. So they've proven themselves. and they do save money against the fuel. Even at today's prices, at $200 differential, you can still benefit from scrubbing systems. Making a decision to use them for future, I think it's a simple one in that you can save the investment within 1 or 2 years, and after that you'll be operating at a much lower overhead.